Curiosity is, I personally think, is, I don't want to say it's the best trait that I find, or one of the best traits that I think you can find in somebody, or somebody who's trying to tell a story, but it's certainly near the top, because, curiosity is just monumental to, it's that beginning empathy and that beginning wanting to know.
Welcome to the Storycraft podcast for professional storytellers. I'm your host, Kyle Adams, and I'm here to help you explore how stories shape our connections. Wondering how stories help you network and advance? Looking to bridge online and face-to-face worlds? Foster understanding and ignite innovation? Look no further. Whether you're a leader, communicator, educator, or just love a good story, join us for actionable insights, all aimed at helping you build stronger, better connections. We're glad you're here.
So Megan and I tell stories for a living. We've been telling stories, ever since we've been on television, back when we left The Ohio State University.
Go Bucks.
That's where we met. But, you'll hear people say all the time, we hear people say all the time, I should say, what is storytelling? How do you become a better storyteller? And a lot of the time we hear, not from us, but a lot of people, and you'll probably hear this as well, be a better listener to be a better storyteller. And while that's true, which it is true, listening goes a lot farther than just listening, right? Like, it's like, okay, someone tells you to be a better runner, like, well, just go run, right? Go run more, right? It's like, okay, you want to be a better storyteller, just listen better. But like, what does that mean? How do you listen better? And, some of the things that I think about, when I'm helping other people tell their stories is, when you are listening better to, help tell better stories, it's the shirt if you're watching this by any chance, you have to be curious, first of all, right? Curiosity is, I personally think, is, I don't want to say it's the best trait that I find, or one of the best traits that I think you can find in somebody, or somebody who's trying to tell a story, but it's certainly near the top, because, curiosity is just monumental to, it's that beginning empathy and that beginning wanting to know about somebody else, somebody that's different than yourself, or something that's different and something that you may not have experienced in your life yet. So that curiosity is absolutely essential. If you don't find yourself to be a curious person, if you don't look at something new, or meet somebody new, or try something new and think, I wonder what this could be like. You know what I mean? Like, just that curiosity, then you might be in the wrong profession. Because as Megan and I can both attest, looking back on my time in television, I'm sure Megan would probably say the same thing. One of the biggest surprises for me was being able to be a reporter, even though that's not what I went to school for. I went to school for meteorology. And being able to be a reporter helped me to really unlock that love of being curious about other people, other things, other places, other events, because I got to experience that literally every single day. I would walk into work and my assignment editor, my news director would say, all right, Kyle, you're going to go to this chicken dinner, this fundraiser for this event, and then you're going to go interview the state senator, and then, oh yeah, by the way, the United States senator is coming through town later this afternoon. I'd like you to try to go interview him or her. And being exposed to all those different things in a short amount of time really led me to appreciate my curiosity, and that was something that I was really good at, and that was something that helped me to tell better stories.
Okay, we had to pause the podcast to let you in on this opportunity. If you're ready to elevate your brand storytelling, don't miss our training, Tell Better Stories, led by me, a seasoned television journalist and PR professor, and Kyle, an on-air meteorologist and video storytelling expert. This workshop unveils our secrets to craft compelling, personal-driven narratives that resonate with your audience. Learn our distinct approach that puts people first and brands second, leveraging 6 storytelling elements for maximum impact. Walk away with actionable strategies, tactics, and a clear process to replicate success in any organization. Check out the show notes to learn more about this offer, or reach out to homeplacecreative@gmail.com.
Tap into your curiosity, right? If you want to be a better listener, if you don't think you're curious, try to be more curious. try to ask more questions, surrounding things that you don't understand or want to know more about, or people that you don't understand or people that you want to know more about. I think it starts with curiosity, right? To be a better listener. And the second thing is actually, I learned this, quite a while ago, not quite a while ago. Actually, it was reinforced actually a couple weeks ago, I should say, when I was at a conference, to give a friend of mine, Kevin Billy, a shout out for the Good Stuff Summit in Sugar Creek, Ohio. There was a speaker there. His name is John DeJulius, and he was talking about customer relationships, customer relations. Being just a better, serving your customers better, essentially. And the one thing that he said that really stuck with me is, literally, he got up on stage, he goes, treat everyone as if they have a giant sign on themselves that says, make me feel important. And it seems so obvious, right? Like, people want to feel important. It doesn't mean they have an ego. It just means that they want to know that what they have to say or what they're doing is heard, essentially, and respected. And that's something that I've always thought of. He just said it way more eloquently than I ever could have, but it seems so simple. Be curious and treat everyone you come across as if they have a giant sign on themselves that says, make me feel important. It's really that easy. And then, the other thing is body language. When you're being a good listener, I know that you've come across that person who doesn't, there's subtle cues, right? Like, you lean in when you're interested in talking to somebody, or you make eye contact with them, or your tone of voice changes. And I know that you've been around the person who acts interested and is acting like they're listening to what you're saying, but the whole time they're talking to you, they're looking off to the side and they're looking for the next person to talk to, or their body language shows, such as like their arms are crossed if you're watching this. All those are subtle cues that people aren't interested and engaged in what you're saying. So being a good listener goes beyond the verbal. It goes into the nonverbal, and the nonverbal cues, especially leaning in, making eye contact, and having an open posture towards the person that you're listening to is very important, because all that, accounts for being a good listener. Matter of fact, communication, more than 60-70% of it is nonverbal. So those are the three things that I think of when I think of being a good listener. And if you're a good listener, and if you can do those three things, I think you'll be able to tell better stories.
We're glad you've listened to this podcast episode. If you liked it, would you mind doing us a favor and sharing this episode with someone who would be interested in the topic too? We're on a mission to help everyone become a better storyteller. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and get updated every time we release a new episode too. Each and every episode is produced, hosted, and edited by us, Kyle and Meg Adams at Home Place Creative. Happy storytelling.